Hello and welcome to Maximize Asset Protection. Um, we are talking today about seed or harvest, and this is a show that we have put together to help you understand a little bit more on how to map your future, what the needs are. Uh, for example, today our show is going to be about burial expenses, and also it's going to help you understand what the expenses could be in this kind of situation. My name is Norma Noriega, and I'm an insurance advisor with Maximize Asset Protection. And today I have with me our guest, Mr. Villaseñor. So welcome to Maximize Asset Protection with Futuro Insurance.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the invite.
And you are very welcome. We are always trying to look for people to help us guide our clients and to help them understand why certain things are important in our life. One of them is, I think, the burial is so important because it's something that we all are going to need. So for our clients, I have had so many of them telling me, well, I don't know about life insurance. Do you have anything like something for a burial expense? Mm-hmm. So this is perfect, and I thank you for being here. Emmanuel, it is very nice to have you here.
Thank you for the invite, and anything that I can do to let the audience learn a little bit about something that we all seen, mm-hmm. we all, sadly have been part of with family members or yes. even with friends. We see it on the news every day. Something's happening. Mm-hmm. There's a stat that says that every 12 seconds somebody passed away in the U.S. Yes. So we all gotta get that day, but we are hoping to teach people how you can not only save money but also save trouble by having your family not have to worry about it.
That's right. That's right. And one of the things that I was bringing this subject to someone, and this person was like, "Why should I buy that right now? I have plenty of money. I can just wait until I really need it."
Well, that happens a lot. A lot of times we feel that we're okay because we have that money in the bank, mm-hmm. But you have to understand that that money in the bank is not a guarantee that's going to be there 20, 30 years from now.
Right.
The economy, everything changes, Mm-hmm. That person might be really good right now, but something happens in his business or her business, and that money can be gone. But let's say the money is there all the time. Mm-hmm. Now you're having to face a couple things, which is you have to realize that if you buy it now, it's much cheaper than if you wait until 20, 30 years from now for it to happen. So you can lock the price and don't have to worry about the inflation happening.
That is true. And another thing that I was noticing, just talking to you prior to recording this, mm-hmm. we just had an event in our family. Mm-hmm. And when the person is not prepared, those events are so costly, right? I mean, it's like when I look at the prices of pre-need burial expense, and when I saw what our family paid, I was like, oh my goodness.
The thing about it is you start spending with sorrow, and that is very dangerous, because the thing about it is your family member might have been okay with the low class casket or the low class service, or let's not even call it the low class, let's call it the basic. Your family member was fine with the basic, but you weren't fine with the basic because you just lost that family member, and you said, no, my mom deserves this. And you start trying to show your love, mm-hmm. by just spending more and more yes. money. And the funeral home's not gonna tell you, hold on. They gotta say, what else can we help you with? Exactly. And that ends up turning into a huge bill at the end of the day.
Exactly. Another thing that comes to mind is I talk to people a lot, And some people tell me, well, I'm thinking about a final expense, instead of uh, a funeral prepaid package. So can you tell me a little bit more about what the difference would be?
Yes, the difference is one is saying if you pass away, there's some money, okay? But that's it. The final expense policy is just money that comes to your family.
Right.
But it's not locking in the price of the funeral. It's not making the arrangements for the funeral. A pre-need funeral plan is doing those two things. It's locking in the price, and it's also, you're filling out a contract that the family now is gotta follow, or the funeral home's not gotta follow, of everything that you actually wanted to happen. So
I see.
it's very different in the sense that the final expense policy, you also have a lot of hoops that you may have to go through qualifying, where a pre-need funeral plan, there's hardly any hoops that you have to go through to have a policy in place.
And also, I would think if you have a final expense, well, like you said, they might have to wait for that money to come in. But when they already have the arrangements for the funeral and everything involved with the funeral, then everything is ready to be used at the moment that is needed, right?
Yes, think about this, Norma. If the funeral home, and we like our funeral homes, but they're a business.
Yes.
And if the funeral home knows they have access to a $50,000 life insurance policy, and you just lost your loved one, and they know they have up to $50,000 check they can go after, you gotta get a pretty good funeral. It's gotta be pretty expensive.
Yes.
But if they have a pre-need funeral contract already in their facility, they just gotta pull that up and see, okay, which service are we supposed to do that is already being paid for. So that's very different, because there's no room for them to be adding too many things, because everything's already laid out for the family to follow.
So what is included in one of these packages of funeral or burial packages?
Everything you want.
Okay.
There is a packet that is already created where it has the basics. It has, the embalmment, the casket, the hearse, the dressing of the casket. All of the services you can think of when you say, I went to a funeral and this is what happened, it's already included. But there's options to add if you wish. Clergy, you can add additional money toward flowers. You can add additional money toward food or catering, even music. So when we explain a packet, we show them the good, the best, and the better,
Right.
And that family, not at the time of passing, but on a kitchen table or in our office, they can say, I want that one. That's what I'm okay with, and,
Right.
and make the selection for their packet.
And when they choose these packages, they also have the ability to choose to have a funeral on the weekend, right?
Yes, that's another thing that a lot of people sometimes don't know, is that it costs more to do a funeral on a Saturday or Sunday. So when we're explaining the packages, we say, would you like to include the any day service? And they say yay or nay for that.
Yes. Okay, that's great. So can anybody buy these packages, or do they have to go through a medical exam like they do with life insurance and other products?
Actually, the answer is yes. Anybody can buy a pre-need funeral plan. It does not matter your immigration status. It does not matter your health. You can buy it. We do have different options according to their health. But you're certainly going to be able to purchase a pre-need funeral plan without having to worry about your health.
Wow, that is great to know, because I mean, many people don't qualify for other products because of their health, but they can buy this regardless of their health. So what happens if the person hasn't finished? Let's say that someone buys one of the packages and they haven't finished paying for it.
So there's different options. We have what is called the dollar for dollar option, which is every time you make a payment, you're one step closer to finish paying it off.
Right.
And then there's also the multi-insured packet, which includes a small insurance policy, very, very small, according to what the funeral is,
Right.
that basically is there. So if the person were to pass away before they finish paying it off, it's paid off.
Okay, that is great. So does age has to do anything with the price?
Very little.
Okay.
Very little. To put it in perspective, a 30-year-old pays about the same as a 50 or 60-year-old.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's the price is higher the older you are, but very little
Okay,
difference.
so
Yes.
not much of a
Not as much
difference.
as like in life insurance, the difference is huge.
Yes.
But on a pre-need funeral plan, it's very small difference, and it's more according to what you want it, your plan to be. That's the amount that you end up going for on your pre-need funeral plan.
So what if the person that bought the plan moves to another house or to another county or to another state?
Great. We do have three parties as part of our pre-need funeral plan.
Okay.
One is the client, of course,
Right.
the funeral home, and an insurance company. Okay?
Okay.
If the client decides that they want to move to California or move anywhere, then the insurance company is their job to find a new funeral home that will take over that contract.
Oh.
Now, those funeral homes will take over the contract gladly because you're basically telling them, hey, would you like to have this future client come through your door? And their answer is going to be
Of
a
course. Of
yes.
course.
Can you
Of
bring me
course
another
I
five
want to.
after
Yeah.
that?
Okay. And for those people that that were born in another country and their wish is when they, on that final
Say
step,
it, Norma,
when they
it's
die,
okay. When they pass away, it's
when
gonna
they pass
happen.
away, if they want to be transferred or taken to their country, will this cover any of those expenses?
Yes. So when we are filling out their contract, we fill out the regular, ceremony, let's say here in town,
Okay.
and then if their wish is to be sent, to their country, a lot of clients that we see, from Mexico, for example, then what we do is we add a fee that we feel is gonna be sufficient at that time to cover the expenses of a transfer over there.
But would they have to let the company know that that's their wish for the
Yes,
future?
it is all put in the contract. So when that person passed away, the funeral home will know what their wish was, and their wish is to be transferred to their country. That's what they gotta follow. So that's even better because a lot of times there's many families that their wish was to be buried, but they end up getting cremated because the
Yeah.
family didn't have the money. Well,
That
this
is
way
true.
you actually are leaving the instructions, but you're leaving the money behind
The money
it
for the
to-
instructions.
for the instructions,
to be
because sometimes people
followed.
just give the instructions, say, hey, when I'm gone, send me back to my country. But it's like, hey, now you're leaving that instructions, but you're also leaving the money behind on that contract in the funeral home. Sadly, they see that every day.
Yes.
It's not a once in a while. They see that every day of families wanting to send their loved one back to their home country. So they're very used to all the process, and they will help the families go through that and make sure that it happens. But it's a big difference between helping them if it happens tomorrow and having to charge them way more than if they had it on a pre-plan basis and they got it already paid for before.
Okay. So what would be a risk of buying this if you were to find something that you might say, well, because of this is not the right fit for you? What would it be?
It might not be the right fit if you don't know what you want yet.
Okay.
If you're still debating, we can definitely always change the contract. But I do recommend that you kind of, whether it's a burial or a cremation, that we select that. But other than that, I feel that you have to do it. You have to do it. Young or old, we all gotta get there.
Right.
And you might as well save money, because one example that I give my clients is it's like purchasing a plane ticket. If you buy it from one day to another, it's got to be very expensive.
Very expensive.
But if you buy it 6 months from now, a year from now, it's got to be a lot cheaper,
That's right.
It is the same thing with a funeral. If you're having your family have to do it from one day to another, I'm sorry, but they gotta have to pay a lot more
A lot
than
more.
if you did it and you planned it for, pre-planned
Yes.
and you had it ready for that.
Yes, and unfortunately, we just saw it last week. It was, as I said before, the prices were extremely high compared to what I was looking at these packages
Yeah.
before we started packing. So the pros and the cons are big because there's so many good things of having this plant. There are so many pros on having your future ready because this is what we're doing with this. I'm telling you, I'm buying for myself and my husband because I want to avoid giving these problems, putting them on my kids' hands because I know how sad and how difficult the time is when you lose a loved one. So if you can have it ready for them, I think this is perfect. Um, and like he said, there's not that many cons. So I invite you to give us a call, uh, either to Futuro Insurance with Emmanuel Villaseñor or Maximize Asset Protection. We're here to help you map your future. It's our duty to help you and to help the right way to guide you. That's what we do. We don't just do insurance. We have other professionals that will guide you, either if you are just yourself employed or if you have a big company. We have so many professionals to help you, like Emmanuel Villaseñor. We will be bringing them here to help you see what's best for you, what you need. But this, I think, Emmanuel, we all need because we all are going to need it. Like you said at the beginning, it's something that we must have, just like we have food every day on our tables.
Yeah.
We need to have this ready so that we can continue to do well and have peace of mind, especially have peace of mind because I think that is so important.
We like the phrase that says, inherit peace of mind, don't
Yes.
inherit problems.
Exactly, and our family will appreciate that a lot. Again, my name is Norma Noriega with Maximize Asset Protection, and our guest today is Emmanuel Villaseñor. I thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for
and
allowing
helping
us to let others know about this. Is something that is you don't really talk about it sometimes. Sometimes we just go to that funeral, we say we're sorry for your loss, and we don't ask him how do you guys end up paying for all of these, or do you realize that it was a good or a bad price? We don't say that. We just say sorry for your loss, and we try to help them grieve. But right now that you're looking at this, you have to realize that, do you want to pay double for something that you could have gotten taken care of? Or if money is not the issue, do you want your family to have to make a lot of decisions on that moment and have that wonder whether they chose the right thing? Because some people have fights and they don't realize that fight has nothing to do with whether you have to wear glasses or not. It had everything to do with your feelings, but it turns into that fight. Mm-hmm. And now that family member may not talk to another family member because of something that could easily be taken care of by having that written down, put into the contract, and making everybody grieve peacefully, knowing that that family member that's gone, did their job in having everything taken care of.
Yes, well said. And I invite you to send us a message, a text message, give us a call. We're here to help you again. We are Maximize Asset Protection, Norma Noriega, and
I'm Emmanuel with Futuro Insurance, and we're definitely happy to be working together so we can help more people have their pre-need funerals taken care of.
Thank you, you guys. Have a wonderful day.